المخدرات، الحبوب المصنعة من مادة الأفيون، الإدمان وما يتبعه من مآس ومعضلات، دوامة يقع ضحيتها المزيد يوميا. دول عديدة حول العالم تعاني من انتشار تلك المواد، منها دول الشرق الأوسط والولايات المتحدة. حسب تقارير الحكومة الأميركية فإن 142 أمريكيا يسقطون ضحايا الجرعات المفرطة كل يوم، مع ما يتجاوز 3 ملايين شخص مسجلون كمدمنين على الحبوب المخدرة والهيروين، وهو ما يشكل أقل من 1% من إجمالي سكان أمريكا. نسبة وإن بدت صغيرة كانت كافية لتدق ناقوس الخطر لدى إدارة الرئيس ترامب، التي تؤمن بأن خطر الأزمة حقيقي، وأن التحرك بسرعة ضدها ضرورة قصوى للوصول إلى مجتمع أمريكي خال تماما من الحبوب المخدرة والإدمان. أنا مروان زعتر، أرحب بكم من واشنطن. في هذه الحلقة الخاصة من اليوم نسلط الضوء عن قرب على تلك المعضلة عبر مجموعة من القصص الخاصة عن أميركيين تخطوا ادمانهم ليبدأوا من جديد، وآخرون شاهدوا احبائهم يسقطون ضحية للمخدرات ليأخذوا على عاتقهم مساعدة الآخرين. سنشاهد سويا قصة ستيسي هاريسون التي وجدت في ابنتها الصغيرة سببا للتمسك بالحياة والتخلص من إدمانها، لتولد من جديد بلا خوف من أن ينتهي بها المطاف صريعة جرعة زائدة. كما وسنتابع شهادة كارين ميلر وكيف تعايشت مع إدمان زوجها وولدها أيضا وحاربت لإنقاذهما. كابوس عاشته كارين ألهمها لتقدم الدعم للآخرين. سنشهد أيضا قصة أرييل إيتر، تلك الشابة الأمريكية التي وصل بها الإدمان إلى مراحل متدنية ونجت بأعجوبة من موت محقق مرات عديدة لتصرخ في النهاية بوجه الإدمان. قصة إلهام وتحد نبدأ بها رحلتنا في هذا العالم الخطير.
I was 16 years old. I was doing Percocet and Oxycontin. I lost my father to suicide when I was 14, so I turned to anything really that would ease my pain, you know, and make me numb. My mom's boyfriend at the time, he was prescribed Oxycontin, so I had an unlimited supply of them, and, you know, so it was anytime I wanted it, whenever I wanted it. I came home from school one day and he had heroin on the table. I didn't know what it was. He had it already poured out. It told me it was the same thing as pills. So I did it, and it was off to the races. A year and a half later, I was shooting it. When I was growing up, my dad was addicted to pills and alcohol, and so it was normal to me. My junior year of high school was when I started shooting it. My boyfriend, which is now my kids' father, he was in jail, and right before he went to jail, I've caught him shooting up, and so I shot up out of spite. I was on heroin when I found out I was pregnant. During my pregnancy, I used a few times with him. I went to jail pregnant for hot urine, and I had an emergency C-section, so they sent me home with Percocet. When the Percocets were all, then the Oxycontin was back, and then within, my son was like 4 months old, I was shooting heroin again. When my son was like a year old, I had my first overdose, and my son was present for it, so Children's Protective Services got involved. My mom found me in an overdose, a real bad overdose, and my body was already in a coma, and my son he's forever scarred because of that. He's old enough to remember, you know, he's seen that. You know, his bond with me was off. You know, it scared him. That was the first time in my life that I lost everything. Over that overdose, my mom took my son, she took my car, she kicked me out, and I lost my job. Well, my addiction hit like its peak after I had my daughter. My daughter was in the hospital at 5 weeks old for RSV, like sickness, and babies, it can be deadly. And she was in really bad shape. I was there with her, but every day I had my drug dealer come into the hospital to bring me the heroin that I needed so I wouldn't be sick. When my addiction really got at its worst was when my kid's dad and I, we were robbing houses, stores, just anything and everything we needed to do to get more. That was June of last year. And then I got beat up real bad by a drug dealer, and he left me to die in the backyard the day after that. CYS took my kids. I was on a mission to die. I started prostituting. I started committing crimes in front of cameras. I just didn't care. I've done sexual acts for one single bag. I lost the will to live. I overdosed 6 times in a week. Like the pain in my kids' eyes, you know, like especially my son, because he's been through it, you know, and to this day he talks about the guy that beat me up. I have like permanent damage because of, you know, I've suffered a lot of overdoses, a lot. 21 total. I've been hit with the Narcan 19 times. I have permanent muscle damage, I have permanent memory loss. You know, and there's a lot of parents that had to bury their kids, and like, I never wanted that to be my mom. Tired of seeing like my kids like cry when it was time for them to leave. You know, I got tired of seeing like my mom ask me like, what happened to you? Is it my fault? You know, and I just like got the fire inside of me to live again. So I packed my bags and I moved away and I got clean and I never looked back.
خروج أريل من نفق الإدمان وأسراره على الحياة من أجل أطفالها رغم كل ما مرت به ما هو إلا مثال حي على أن الإدمان طريق مرعب يمكن الرجوع عنه، وهو ما تمثل جليا في قصة مايك جامبل. مايك عانى من الإدمان قبل أكثر من 4 عقود. إدمانه قاده إلى السرقة وحياة الجريمة، ليأخذ في النهاية قرارا بترك كل شيء ليبدأ طريق التعافي من الإدمان.
Prescription drugs has led to this epidemic. If the prescription drug epidemic didn't hit, we would still have a heroin problem, but it wouldn't be the way it is now. So between the prescription drugs and this fentanyl showing up, being mixed in, that's created this epidemic that we've never seen before in this country. An addict's job, 24 hours a day, is to get money, to get more drugs. I started using drugs, and then I worked my way up to doing heroin, and I went right to heroin. And so I got addicted very fast. And back then, the heroin was not as strong as it is now, so I had to commit a lot of crimes. I would rob and steal and sell drugs. Took my parents literally broke. They lost everything. But that was my life. It was 24 hours a day. I didn't care who I hurt. I didn't care what I did. I needed that drug. And it takes all your values and all your love and all your ability to be compassionate to people, it's gone. Because you'll do anything to get that drug. And I did.
Against the mafia here in the United States.
Conspiracy to distribute cocaine and marijuana.
I had people out trying to kill me. I'd ripped off the mafia in Baltimore at that time. You just reach a point where you say, wow, if I don't do something, I am going to be dead. And I was very lucky at that point that I was able to go to a program in California. If I would have stayed in Baltimore, I would have been dead. I would have been dead. I went to this program and something clicked, you know, and I didn't use it. That was it. And that was almost 45 years ago. I made it out, and my parents were able to see me get clean and help people, and that was wonderful. But I mean, I shouldn't be here. There's no question about it. I was so lucky, so fortunate.
مايك اليوم وبعد 45 عاما من الحياة النظيفة يعتبر أحد النشطاء ضد انتشار الحبوب المخدرة، وهو يأخذ على عاتقه إيصال تلك الرسالة إلى الشباب الأمريكي للتوعية بتلك الآفة الخطيرة. رسالة قد تصل متأخرة إلى أذهان البعض، كما هو الحال في قصة شون شميت الذي توفي جراء جرعة زائدة وهو في ربيع العمر. والدة شون بيث استجمعت قواها من جديد لتحكي لنا عن تجربتها المريرة.
My son Sean died at the age of 23 of a pure fentanyl overdose. He started using pills either out of curiosity or out of peer pressure. He was actually supplied pills by an adult that I trusted when he first started using pills. He would have to go into the city to get heroin once someone turned him on to heroin. He was actively addicted to heroin. Fentanyl was not anything that we had really heard about yet. It had just started hitting Pennsylvania. It's so easy, it's so cheap. My son and his girlfriend would go down to the city and they would buy enough just for that day. He came to me and told me, he said, you know, I need help. This is what's been going on. This is why I haven't had much money. He said that they had been using pills, and when there was a problem with the parent that was supplying those pills and they couldn't get the pills and his girlfriend was sick, somebody said, okay, why don't you use this? It's cheaper and it's faster. You're going to feel better quicker and it's going to cost you less money. And so that they just thought that that was an equal alternative. I'll feel better, faster, less money. You know, what could go wrong? And unfortunately, it just spiraled way, way, way out of control. A police officer came to the house and my youngest son answered the door. So the police officer came in and spoke with me and spoke with my youngest for a little while. He was probably in my house for a good 10 minutes before he told me what happened. One thing that does help me is that my son and I were so close, and that I know that we did everything that we could possibly do. Even after he had relapsed, and I called him out on that, and he knew that he was supposed to get kicked out of the house if he used again. And that last time there was something else that was going on. There was some type of desperation. I know that he felt bad and that he didn't know what to do. I really, really, really wish that he was still here. But I understand why he couldn't be and why he can't. And I miss him terribly. I know he's in a better place and I will see him when I get there.
إدمان شون الذي أدى إلى وفاته والتجربة الصعبة التي مرت بها والدته ما هي إلا مثال على تجارب أخرى تمر بها أمهات أخريات. وباء دفع الرئيس الأمريكي ترامب إلى تشكيل لجنة خاصة ضد الأزمة. فكيف هي الحلول؟ الإجابة في حوار اليوم مع بروفيسور بيرثا مادراس، عضو اللجنة الرئاسية الأمريكية لمكافحة الإدمان على المخدرات والأزمة الأفيونية.
There are at least 2.5 million people who are addicted to prescription opioids. And there are close to probably 1 million people addicted to heroin. The tragedy is that 80% of the people who are addicted to heroin currently transition from prescription opioids. The first thing we have to do is reduce the supply of prescription opioids. And people say, oh, that sounds like a police state or what have you. It's prevention. It's prevention. If you reduce the supply, you reduce the access to drugs that are addictive and can kill you. And one way of preventing addiction and death is to reduce the number of pills. So how do we do that? We have to educate physicians on proper prescribing. We have to get physicians to rely on what's called prescription drug monitoring programs so that they can access a database that tells them, is my patient shopping for more than one doctor? Are they getting pills from other sources? So we need to educate the physician. We need to help them by accessing a database to know what their patients are like. Then the next question is, what do you do if a patient does become addicted? We need to improve quality of treatment and access to treatment. So that's a whole other component. The third thing is, how do we prevent overdoses? We've got to have greater access to naloxone, which can stop an overdose. And then there's so much more.
للأزمة أوجه أخرى وتجارب تحد من رحم المعاناة. بعد قليل قصة برناديت بومن، كيف دفع إدمان ابنها وابنتها إلى التحرك سريعا لإنقاذهما من موت محقق. الإجابة بعد الفاصل. عدنا معكم وتجارب أميركية من رحم المعاناة عن أناس وقعوا في دائرة الإدمان أو شهدوا احبائهم يذهبون ضحيتها ليخرجوا منها أقوى وأكثر إصرارا على الحياة. قصتنا الآن عن أم أميركية لم تجد من يساعدها على إنقاذ ولديها من الإدمان، لتقرر هي أن تتحدى جميع العقبات بنفسها وأن تنتشل أسرتها من خطر موت محقق. إليكم قصة برناديت بومن.
I had two children that were addicts. They're now 6 years and 3 years clean. But when I went to the county to get help for them, to get them into treatment and get them placed, I could not find anyone to help me. So I decided to just take it on myself and run with it. They turned to opioids because my son broke his tib and fib in an ATV accident when he was 16. My daughter was 15 and diagnosed with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. Given painkillers, my son had his first shot of morphine the day that he broke his leg. He said that that was his high that he always wanted to chase. I focused on this because we knew that we needed it. I knew that it was a definite need here in this community and other communities. I focused on the women part of it because I'm a woman and I know how it feels, you know, to need things, to need help, to need to talk to someone, to need to follow through. I follow through with them. We have had relapses, but they come as quickly as they go. They get right back on track, they do what they need to do, and then they become productive people of society. So I grew up in a community, I went to high school here. I knew that this is where we needed the most help because of all of the overdoses that were happening. I got in with the re-entry committee in the Franklin County Prison and said, hey, there's another alternative to this. We can't keep arresting them. We need to give them treatment. That was a great big hurdle for this county because they've just always shoved it under the rug. We need to open up, we need to drop the stigma, and we need to lend a hand to help them because if we don't help them, they're just gonna die. We get them to acclimate to the surroundings here in the first 30 days. We get them a medical card, their ID, a birth certificate, whatever they need. Then we start working on a resume because we want to get them a job as quick as we can. The second phase is working on recovery, getting to the root of the problem. Because if we don't get to the root of the problem and fix what's really honest to God wrong, it's going nowhere. If we don't treat both the mental health and the addiction together, it's a lost cause. 98% of the people that I deal with are both mentally ill and addicts. I just want to see them all do good and do right and get right back to where they need to go, because there's hope. There's hope, you just got to help them. I don't think that I could imagine my life any different than it is right now. I've worn a lot of hats in my life. I just think this is where I need to be. This is where God's put me.
برناديت لن تتوقف عند هذا الحد، وهي تستمر بتقديم الدعم عبر مركز آثر هاوس في ولاية بنسلفانيا لمساعدة النساء المدمنات على تخطي الإدمان. هذا المركز كان بمثابة ضوء في نهاية نفق مظلم دخلته ستيسي هاريسون، التي تمكنت من تخطي شبح الإدمان لتبدأ من جديد، واضعة نصب عينيها مستقبلا أفضل لابنتها الصغيرة ليلى.
Your name and your age?
My name is Stacey Harrison, and I'm 32 years old.
When did you start using pills?
We declare a public health emergency.
So hard with all of the overdoses.
Things may be more serious in one community.
I was about 21 when I started using, just on the weekends with my ex, and then it just trickled over into the week, and then it just became and then we started using heroin. And then it turned into a full-blown addiction. Just started snorting, you know, off from the jump. And then once we switched to the heroin, then that went to IV use. And then that's when things really spiraled out of control. I've lost my job, I've lost my car, I've lost houses, I've lost all my possessions, you know, either to a drug dealer or a pawn shop, you know, to get the next fix. I've lost my child as well because I couldn't take care of myself. I can't take care of her. The mental and physical abuse from my ex just progressed. It just got worse and worse and worse. I mean, he's hit me. It's all both. Or I think it's the same. The words and the mental abuse is just as bad as the physical abuse. If not, sometimes worse. The mental abuse is worse. He's been in and out of jail as well. He's been in and out of rehab as well. We just lost a friend about 2 weeks ago to an overdose, a mutual friend. And another mutual friend tried to go talk to him to get him help, and he wouldn't do it. He refused. My worst fear is that Layla would become addicted, my daughter. That'd be my worst fear right now. And I'm doing everything I can today to make sure that that doesn't happen. My parents have done pretty good with her, and she knows about mine and her father's addiction. I hope that she will learn from my mistakes, mine and her father's mistakes. I've been clean just a little over 60 days from drugs and then about 3 weeks off of methadone. For the first time in all my recoveries of getting clean, that they are actually hopeful this time, that they've seen a difference. Because I did this all on my own. Like, I've been to 13 treatments. But this time I was just done. And I put myself on a methadone taper and I came off of it in 30 days. And the withdrawals were hard. It was a rough 3 weeks there at the end. But I knew it wasn't gonna last forever. Withdrawals don't last forever. Like, I knew I was gonna get through it. And it was mind over matter. And that's how I pushed through it. I want to go back to school or get certified like Bernadette is, and to continue doing what we've been doing, and, you know, to show that there is hope and we do recover.
ستيسي تسير على خطى برناديت وتعمل على تقديم يد العون للآخرين ضد الإدمان. فهل يمكن أن نستلهم القدرة على مساعدة الآخرين من رحم معاناة شخصية؟ سؤال تجيبنا عليه ضيفتنا جيني أتوود لوفيت، المديرة التنفيذية لمؤسسة كريس أدوود لدعم ومعالجة ضحايا الإدمان. جيني، أهلا بك معنا في هذه الحلقة الخاصة. أنت ناشطة ضد الإدمان وعملك أيضا جاء من معاناة شخصية للأسف، ولكن حدثينا عن هذه المعاناة لو سمحتي.
Absolutely, yeah. So my family, unfortunately, understands the impact of the opioid crisis very personally. In 2013, we lost my little brother, Christopher, to a fatal heroin overdose. He was just 21 years old when he died. He was actually 15 years old when he got addicted to intravenous heroin, which was a huge shock to our family. nobody thinks that their 15-year-old kid is going to start using heroin. And we had no idea that opioids were even a problem in the country, and how easy it was for youths like my brother to get heroin. And we put him through treatment. He had some of the best care that you can get. But unfortunately, after many treatments and many relapses, in February of 2013, I came home from work and I found him face down on his bed in a pool of vomit, not breathing. And, you know, I didn't have any training, didn't know what to do. I tried to revive him and I called 911 and unfortunately it was too late, and he passed away.
يعني عذرا على استرجاع هذه الذكريات الأليمة، ولكن قصتك هي قصة إلهام لكثيرين. ولكن حدثيني يعني خسارة شقيقك من الجرعة الزائدة التي حدثنا عنها، كيف ألهمتك لتأسيس مؤسسة كريس أتود التي تحمل اسمه لمساعدة ضحايا الإدمان على المخدرات؟
So, after my brother's death, my family and I, we were sitting around the kitchen table and thinking about the past 6 years of this roller coaster of tragedy that we've been through with Christopher and his addiction. And we, in hindsight, could see so many gaps in the system of care in this country that we had slipped through, places where we could have gotten help that we were failed. And so we realized, you know, that if we didn't do something about this, that we were just going to keep watching family after family fall through the same gaps that we did. And we decided that there was just something that we had to do about it, that we had a responsibility to try to help other families. And so we started the Chris Atwood Foundation in his memory. And one of the biggest gaps that we slipped through was that in all of the treatment centers that Christopher went to, he went to 6 different treatment centers. Some of them were $1,000 per day, and insurance didn't cover it. Okay, so supposedly world-class care. None of them told us that there was a medication that could reverse an opioid overdose and save his life. None of them told us about it. And we realized we've got to get the word out. And this medication that I'm talking about is called naloxone. And it can easily save somebody from an opioid overdose, but you have to have it. And so we started educating families, we started advocating for better policies to increase access to this medication. And we were finding that a lot of people were coming to the trainings that we were giving and not getting the medication afterwards. So what we did is we actually got a law passed in Virginia to allow organizations like ours, community outreach organizations, to dispense naloxone directly to people who need it. And so that's a big part of what we do now.
نعم، يعني كلنا نعرف أهمية هذا العقار، ومن المهم جدا التوعية بشأنه. جيني أتوود لافت بالطبع سنعود إليك لمتابعة هذا الحديث عن دور المجتمع ضد أزمة المخدرات. ابقي معنا. مشاهدينا، بعد الفاصل كارين ميلر، كيف مزق الإدمان أسرتها؟ وهل استسلمت للأمر الواقع؟ ابقوا معنا. ليس هنالك ما هو أصعب من الإدمان، ربما سوى أن تشهد وقوع من تحب في دوامته المريرة. وهنا يكمن التحدي عندما تقرر أن تهب حياتك لانتشال من تحب من هذا الكابوس. كارين ميلر أم وزوجة عاشت لترى سقوط زوجها في فخ الإدمان المزمن، لتتضاعف مأساة تلك الأسرة بإدمان الابن أيضا. فكيف وجدت كارين القوة رغم مأساتها الشخصية لتحارب الإدمان؟
He was so frail and gray. I thought he was going to die any minute. And he's in horrible withdrawal, and he's begging me to give him $20 and to drive him back here so he could get a shot, to get a fix real quick. A lot of these kids are going to jail for being sick. We need long-term, compassionate, evidence-based quality treatment. We're begging for beds. We have 150 plus people a day dying from opioids in the United States. As sad as this is, what I do, the success stories make it all better. When I have the sad stories like death and relapse and children committing suicide because of their addiction, something always is sent to me through my God to tell me that you're doing the right thing, because there's many days that I want to quit.
كارين تحارب الإدمان والحبوب المخدرة على طريقتها الخاصة. مثال آخر على أن أزمة المخدرات رغم مآسيها يمكن أن تكون دافعا للكثيرين على محاربتها. ولكن من أين تبدأ الوقاية؟ وما هو مفهوم الإدمان للمدمن؟ أسئلة أجابت عليها دكتور بيرثا مدرس، عضو اللجنة الرئاسية لمكافحة الإدمان على المخدرات والأزمة الأفيونية.
Self-awareness is critical because many people have an addiction. It's at least 80% in this country. They have an addiction. They don't think they have a problem and they don't seek help. They don't look for treatment. They don't need treatment, so they think. Self-awareness is critical. Have you stopped caring about things that you used to care about? Have you stopped worrying about whether or not you can pay the rent or the mortgage? Have you stopped caring deeply about your family and your work or your school? Have you gotten into trouble as a result of substance use? There are a series of questions that you can ask yourself. And if you reach a point where you're answering yes to all of them, be self-aware and start to introspect, to think about the situation and to seek help. If your children are entering adolescence or are in adolescence, keep them away from drugs. Because once a child breaks through that barrier of smoking, of drinking, of marijuana, they are more likely to experiment with other drugs. And it's Russian roulette. You don't know if that child is going to just give it up when they grow up or progress towards addiction. So protecting your child from drugs, all drugs, is a critical and universal principle. Addiction is a family disease. It's a community disease. It's a workplace disease. It's a national disease. There's no such thing as I am addicted and nobody else is hurting. Everyone around that individual is hurting. Parents are hurting. Children are hurting. Brothers and sisters. Everyone in a family is affected by addiction. And what does the addiction mean? It means that you begin to stop really being part of humanity. You withdraw from people. the drug becomes the central focus, the central reward. You invert all the reward mechanisms we have, which is survival, earning an income so we can pay the rent and food and taking care of family and love. All that is secondary. The most important quote I've heard was from a person with a heroin use disorder in my class that I taught to the fourth-year Harvard Medical School students. And he was in detox, multiple detoxes. This must have been a dozen or more. And these students interviewed him and they said, "Are you married?" A very elegant 45-year-old man. And he looked straight at this female medical student and he said, "I've never loved a woman as much as I love heroin. And I can't. Heroin is my only love." I think the most important thing is for us to not only fix this problem, and I think this is a problem that was created by people, it can be solved by people. I'm optimistic that this too will pass. But I think the most important thing we do once the crisis is over is lessons learned.
عمل، عائلة، يوميات بلا مخدرات، فرصة جديدة في الحياة. لماذا تصعب على بعض المدمنين؟ بعد الفاصل تحقيق خاص من قلب برونكس في نيويورك. آفة المخدرات لا تستهدف الأفراد والأسر فحسب، بل تؤدي أحيانا إلى إرهاق مجتمعات بالكامل لما تأتي به من تبعات على حياة المدمن ومن حوله. برنامج اليوم توجه إلى إحدى بؤر أزمة المخدرات في مدينة برونكس في نيويورك ليحكي مع الناس عن انطباعاتهم ومشاهداتهم عن الأزمة.
هذه هي ضاحية برونكس، إحدى الضواحي الكبرى لمدينة نيويورك التي بدورها تعد أكبر المدن الأمريكية من حيث السكان. كما تشاهدون هنا الإجراءات الأمنية دائما وباستمرار واضحة للعيان من خلال حضور عدد كبير من رجال الشرطة. الأزمة الكبرى والمعضلة الكبرى بالنسبة لهذه المنطقة هي المعاناة من الاستهلاك المفرط للمخدرات خصوصا الهيروين وكذلك أعداد أخرى، فالأرقام كبيرة جدا والأزمة أصبحت أزمة جدية جدا. نواصل وإياكم هذه الرحلة في جنوب برونكس.
توقفنا في تقاطع شارعي بروك وويستشستر. يبدو أن مواطنين اشتكوا أمرا ما يتعلق بمدمنين وتجار مخدرات. بقيت الشرطة برهة ثم رحلت بينما قررت أنا أن أدخل.
بالفعل البلاغ الذي وصل إلى شرطة برونكس في نيويورك صحيح وصادق 100% من حيث اعتبار هذا المكان من الأماكن الخطيرة من حيث أنه يستعمل من قبل مروجي ومستهلكي المخدرات كمكان مفضل له من بين أماكن أخرى تقع عادة تحت الجسور وفي المناطق المغلقة مثل هذه، وتسمى في العامية الأمريكية ب The Hole أو الثقب إلى حد ما. استكشفت هذا المكان وعثرت على الكثير من الأشياء من بينها حقن تستعمل في الحقن أو في حقن المخدرات، وهي موجودة هنا ربما بالآلاف أو ربما أكثر. واعترف الكثيرون بأن هذا المكان هو مكان لاستهلاك المخدرات، وكنت قد التقيت أيضا مدمنا على المخدرات ويقول إنه لا يستطيع القيام بشيء للتخلص من إدمانه.
هل وضعك محزن؟
نعم محزن، كل الناس تعرف ذلك. لا أحد مسؤول، عليك أن تساعد نفسك بنفسك.
وأنت هل تساعد نفسك؟
لا، الأمر كان صعب جدا. كنت صغيرا وكان على وجهي وشم. حاولت الحصول على عمل لكنني لم أنجح بسبب الوشم حينها، ولم ألقى المساعدة. دخلت السجن وبقيت هناك 11 عاما. أفرج عني في أبريل الماضي.
ألا تستطيع التخلص من إدمانك؟
إنه مرض. الحل الوحيد كي أتوقف عن تعاطي المخدرات هو الحصول على عمل، وأن يساعدوني على دفع ثمن إيجار شقة لي كي لا أبقى في الشارع.
تركنا محدثنا الذي يبدو أنه لن يعود إلى هذا المكان، ولكن لا أحد يدري كيف ستنتهي رحلته مع الإدمان. بن بيرز يعشق الرياضة ويتحدى مخاطر العيش في جنوب برونكس.
إذا شئت اذهب إلى منطقة قريبة جدا من هنا، سترى كل المدمنين، وربما يمكنك الحديث إليهم وسيقولون لك لماذا هم في هذا الوضع. هؤلاء الناس كانوا يملكون شيئا والآن لا يملكون شيئا، لقد فقدوا كل شيء، لذلك يخفون أنفسهم من المجتمع باستعمال هذه المخدرات الرخيصة الممنوعة. ولكن هناك الكثير من المحلات المرخصة التي تبيعها. المدمنون يشترون هذه المواد ثم تراهم يحطمون أنفسهم فيتحولون إلى أموات أحياء. وما يحزنني أن الكثير منهم شباب. الحكومة هنا تهتم بالمرتاحين ماليا وتنسى الطبقة العاملة والوسطى والفقراء هنا. عليك أن تعلم أنك إذا أخذت من الناس أشياء كالعمل والمشاركة في الاقتصاد فإن النتيجة ستكون الإدمان على المخدرات الرخيصة مثل الكي2 التي تحولت إلى عدوى. بإمكانك أن تحصل على أي معلومة في زماننا ويمكن أن تثقف نفسك. الشيء نفسه مع هؤلاء المدمنين، كل ما يحتاجون إليه أن يستمع إليهم أحدهم ويساعدهم.
لم تمر لحظات حتى تأكد كلام بيريز على لسان أحد شباب برونكس. أرادني أن أبلغ رسالته أو بالأحرى حلمه البسيط.
I don't want to step out more to the street. I don't want to use drugs. This I'm talking about. I want to get a job, real work. This I'm saying. I want a family.
أزمة تضع عبئا على المؤسسات الصحية في التعامل مع ضحاياها. فكيف تواجه فرق الطوارئ والاستجابة السريعة تحديات إنقاذ حياة من سقطوا في فخ الحبوب المخدرة والجرعات المفرطة؟
Within the city, we've seen a fairly dramatic increase in the amount of synthetic opioid overdoses, and it's been getting worse. We use as the first responder advanced life support resource. Most of our cases is a combination of heroin and fentanyl, and I don't think many of the recreational users out here necessarily know that there's fentanyl that's combined in the heroin when they get it. Our opioid overdoses are fairly easy to spot even from several feet away. It's fairly obvious. They're pinpoint pupils. They're usually fairly diaphoretic, and we have to start breathing for them in many cases. And then we'll establish an IV, or if it's a basic life support, they'll give Narcan. We'll wait for a response. If they don't respond to the Narcan within a few minutes, but if they don't, we'll give them additional doses. So we're responding for a 25-year-old male that is reported to be unconscious, so we can suspect an opioid overdose. Lots and lots and lots of substance abuse issues in this city. We arrived, the basic life support unit, ambulance 11 was here. with 2 firefighter EMTs who assessed the patient, completed what they needed to do, and then called for a private ambulance to transport the gentleman to the hospital.
Only thing is, like now I'm on a medication, Lisprinol, and it does make me tired, and I get like muscle spasms in my legs and my lower back from it. But they had me on 40 milligrams and now I'm on 20. So I take them once a day. You know,
But you all right, huh?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Very, very, very sick people that may or may not survive.
لا يخفى أن الأميركيين يرفضون بمجملهم هذه الظاهرة ويعملون على القضاء عليها لتأكيد حقيقة أن المجتمع الأمريكي أكبر من هذه الأزمة، وأن نسبة من وقع في دائرة الإدمان يمثلون أقل من 1% من إجمالي الشعب الأمريكي، أغلبهم قادر على الرجوع عن الإدمان عبر برامج إعادة التأهيل والدعم المناسب، وهو ما تحدثنا عنه ضيفتنا جيني أتوود لوفيت، المديرة التنفيذية لمؤسسة كريس أتوود العاملة على دعم ومعالجة ضحايا الإدمان. أهلا بك مرة جديدة. يعني أنت تعملين من خلال مؤسسة كريس أتوود على دعم عائلات ضحايا الإدمان وتوفير مواد التعافي منه. خبريني جيني، يعني كيف ترين تجاوب الناس والمجتمع مع ما تقومين به، خاصة أنه نابع من تجربة شخصية مؤلمة؟
Well, a lot of people, when we first came out about my brother's addiction, were very surprised. But when we started the foundation, we've had so much support. We've had people that we knew for 20 years. As soon as we started talking about it, they admitted, you know what, my family has been impacted by addiction too, and I'm in recovery from alcoholism, and all of these people started telling their stories just because we started telling ours.
يعني هل أنت واثقة من أن المجتمع الأمريكي قادر على تجاوز هذه الأزمة، يعني خاصة الأشخاص الذين وقعوا في الإدمان؟
I am. I think we have a long way to go as a society. I think certainly the policies, especially the healthcare policies that we have surrounding this issue, need a lot of work. But the American people are very resilient, and I believe that there's a lot that we can do as individuals. I think that change starts on the family level. And one of the most powerful things that families can do, that I see more and more of them starting to do, is to create a culture in their households that, you know what, it's okay to talk about your emotional health and your mental health. Most people that start misusing drugs and eventually become addicted are masking some kind of deep pain, and creating a culture where it's okay to talk about that. And defeating the stigma means that when somebody does need help, they're not afraid to ask for it. And that goes a long way.
نعم. يعني كما نعرف للأسف هناك نظرة سلبية من بعض الناس للمدمن. هنا في الولايات المتحدة يتحدثون عنها، هناك لجنة مختصة تشرف على معالجة هذا الموضوع، هناك بعض الجمعيات يعني كجمعية حضرتك تتحدثون، وهناك أشخاص أيضا يتحدثون عن معاناتهم الشخصية، ولكن في بعض المجتمعات يعني هناك نظرة سلبية جدا تجاه المدمن. برأيك كيف يجب تغيير هذه النظرة السلبية؟
I think the biggest way to defeat the stigma and change the negative image is for people to stand up and tell their stories. When they've overcome their problem and they've found a new life in recovery, to reach back and try to help the person behind them, and to tell the world that yes, I've been through this, but that's not all of who I am. My addiction does not define me. And you know that our stories have so much power, and it doesn't change if we won't talk about it. Addiction is a brain disease, just like any other disease, just like diabetes, just like heart disease. It just impacts the brain. It's just a different organ that gets sick. You know, so people with addiction, they may do bad things, they may commit crimes, they may act in different and terrible ways, but that's because their brain is sick, and many times they really can't help it. So we have to recognize that this is an illness and treat people with the same compassion that we treat them if they have any other disease.
نعم، لأنه ربما من خلال المعالجة والدعم والوقوف إلى جانب المدمن يمكن تخطي هذه الأزمة. جاني، أنت تعملين بشكل مستمر مع أعضاء المجتمع ضد آفة المخدرات. ما هو أكثر موقف استوقفك عن يعني يبين مدى إرادة الناس على محاربة الإدمان وأثاره؟
So my favorite story, actually, my brother Christopher's best friend, Spencer, all spring and summer long this year, hiked 2,200 miles of the Appalachian Trail, which goes from Maine to Georgia, in memory of everybody who's been lost to addiction, and to raise money for us to get the life-saving overdose reversal drug naloxone to people who need it. So he was out there every single day, hiking at least 20 miles to show the world that you can overcome addiction and you can do amazing things, because he's in recovery from addiction himself. So I'm so proud and in awe of him for doing that. And he's not the only one who's done things like that.
نعم، دائما قصص النجاح تبدأ من رحم المعاناة. شكرا لتواجدك في هذه الحلقة الخاصة ولمشاركتنا تجربتك المريرة، ولكن دائما هناك أمل. جاني، تحياتي لك. جاني أتوود لافيت، أنت مديرة مؤسسة كريس أتوود، شكرا لتواجدك معنا. مشاهدينا، المعركة الحقيقية تكمن عند جذور تلك الأزمة، والإلهام لتخطيها نجده بين ضحاياها الذين وجد الكثير منهم القوة للتخلص من الإدمان والبدء من جديد بلا مخدرات. حكايات فيها من العبر والدروس ما يكفي لكي يلهم الآخرين على التخلص من إدمانهم ونبذ المخدرات وكل من يروج لها. قصص نجاح أميركية للخروج من نفق الإدمان، نتمنى أن تصل رسائلها إلى الآخرين نحو بداية جديدة في الحياة. كنت معكم مروان زعتر من واشنطن، وحلقة خاصة من برنامج اليوم. نلتقيكم وقضايا أخرى.